And as of right now, we have a 1-1 tie between Team PPG and Team SH. So a very close series so far, a couple games in, and we'll see if cheesus, aka Elisa, can take down Gemini in game number 3 here. And I apologize if you just heard that noise in the background. My retarded dog just ran downstairs and decided he wanted to watch some StarCraft 2 with me. But yeah, thanks again for joining, guys. If you guys are watching this, enjoying these games, you know, grab yourself a beer or a soda or some snacks or whatever you guys like to have while you're watching some StarCraft 2. Enjoy these games. This is going to be some good times. And in the top right here, we can see cheesus, aka Elisa, playing as our Terran. I'm just going to start referring to him as cheesus now so I don't have to keep saying aka. But anyways, he's going to be playing. In the top right here is the light blue Terran. In the lower left, we have Gemini playing as the yellow Protoss. And once again, going for that pylon on 9 and then immediately sending out the scout, not wasting any time at all getting that scout on there, even on such a short map. And cheesus, likewise, getting down his supply depot on 10. So nothing crazy as of yet. We'll see if this develops into any cheese play because, of course, this map, Steps of War, is quite well known for some very, very cheesy play. So we'll see exactly how this plays out. But as of right now, both players looking like they're going to play pretty standard. Elisa putting down that first barracks inside his base, and immediately Gemini coming over to harass. And oh my gosh, I just realized that I still have the hit point bars on. I'm going to go and turn that off real quick before anything serious starts to happen. Normal. There we go. There we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. And looks like Elisa is going to push off that probe. It's not going to be able to do any more harassment on the SCV building the barracks, but there is an SCV building a barracks, an SCV building a refinery, one scouting, and one chasing that probe. So a lot of SCVs being taken up right now, just doing random things throughout the base for cheesus. So it looks like Gemini going to do a pretty good job of keeping that probe alive, though. And of course, once the Marine comes out here from the barracks, it's going to be a little bit different because probes have a hard time scouting when there's a Marine defending the base. Meanwhile, back in Gemini's base, he does have his first refinery up and running, already getting that first gateway up, and I would guess that we're going to see him go ahead and get that cyber core down here pretty quickly. Yeah, and there it goes right now. Gemini seems to really favor getting the gateway first, cyber core second, and then going for that really fast warp gate tech, and then also getting out that first zealot and sentry. A lot of people like to get out the stalker first. It's a little bit better for chasing a scout out of the base. And of course, it's quicker than the sentry in general. Although, unfortunately, stalkers do not allow you to wall off your ramp, which it seemed like Gemini really wanted to do. He was going for that DT tech last game, so he really needed to stall on his ramp as long as he could until he got that DT tech out. And he was actually fortunate enough to take out enough of Bergs' units to actually push him back off of his base. So some very good play from Gemini last game, able to take Bergs down, the first member from Team PPG. And it looks like there's actually a zealot coming out from Gemini as well. He is going to send that zealot immediately to his ramp and hope to defend off any kind of early scouts there. Oh, and Elisa trying to hide, or cheesus rather, trying to hide his Marauder, but unfortunately does not keep it hidden. One shot going off on the probe, so Gemini is aware that there is Marauders on the map already. And the concussive shell already finishing up. So very early upgrade once again for our Terran from cheesus here, showing a super early upgrade on that. Which is very effective against Protoss, especially Zealots and Stalkers. They just are so strong, and it looks like cheesus is going to go for a very quick push here. 2 Marauders, 1 Marine, 1 SCV, and this could actually be quite dangerous as there's only 2 units out for Gemini right now, and he has a sentry building, but it is a ways away, so he is not going to be able to wall off this ramp. He is going to be in trouble if he can't get something to defend this against soon, and it looks like they're going to go for that Stalker right away. And then immediately running back, going to kite that Zealot because, of course, with that concussive shell upgrade, that Zealot's going to have a hard time getting in range to actually do any damage. And here come the probes trying to help out. Probes actually decent against these Marauders, but these Marauders being microed pretty well by cheesus here. And it looks like he is going to try to back off and do as much damage as he can. There's no reinforcements coming currently, but there is a proxy factory coming up here. So although it looks like cheesus also going to see the Stargate going up inside the Protoss player's base. So both players going for some pretty heavy teching early on, and we saw a pretty effective attack from cheesus there. Although, unfortunately, he is still behind in the harvester count, spending a lot of time getting that upgrade up, spending a lot of resources getting those first few units out, and he is actually behind by 5 harvesters, although the Mule can cover up a world of sins when it comes to the economic game. So getting that Mule out is going to help him catch up in the resources. And as you can see, he has a slight lead even at points because of how many minerals that Mule gives him. And oh my goodness, what just happened there? Gemini just pulled off like 8 probes from his mineral line. I don't know if he had those hotkey down accident or something, but yeah, he just pulled a bunch of his mineral line off, and it looks like Gemini going to try to put some pressure back on cheesus. He's got 2 sentries, 2 zealots, a stalker, and a void ray, which once again, this force could be pretty formidable. And it looks like cheesus actually going to land that factory inside the Protoss base and try to get a Hellion out here and possibly do some harassment on the mineral line. Meanwhile, back at the base of cheesus, he does have a bunker up with some Marines in it, and he's got Marines behind it. 6 more Marines with more coming out, and he's also got a Marauder. So it looks like he should be able to hold this entrance here, although the proxy pylon going up for Gemini now, he should be able to warp in enough units to put on some serious pressure here, although no, he is going to decide to back off right now. And here comes the Hellion from cheesus, going to try to warp in and do, some units here to defend against this, although he warped in Zealots. He really needs Stalkers there, although cheesus not really microing that at all, and the Void Ray is going to be able to come and clean that up without any problems. And here comes Gemini's units retreating back to his base, the factory being left inside of Gemini's base for some reason. And this is going to go down very quickly, although it looks like cheesus not really going to rely on that too much, getting the Banshee out instead. He does have, he says, no, stop, I need that. So apparently cheesus not meaning to lose that factory. A little bit of a mismanagement of his structures there, unfortunately. But it looks like he is actually going to get a second starport up and running before that factory does go down. But looking at the harvester count now, it is evened up pretty well now, 27 to 25. And of course, with those mules from cheesus, he is actually going to be right on par with what the Protoss player is working with. But looking at the production menu right now, we can see Cloak for Banshees is about halfway done. The first Banshee is just about to finish, and there are more Void Rays coming out for Gemini, and it looks like he is just going to go for a Void Ray mix with his ground forces, which can be quite deadly, especially if there is not some serious anti-air in the Terran army mix. Marines do a pretty good job against Void Rays, but Marines are pretty bad against most of the ground here. Zealots just tear through Marines, especially if they have charge, although it does not look like Gemini is getting charge right now. Sentries are actually pretty good against them if they use Guardian Shield, because of course Guardian Shield reduces Marine damage by so much, because Marines have fast DPS, but Marines also have very, very low attack damage, so losing that 2 hit points of attack damage is a very serious blow to their DPS. But it looks like Elisa actually cheesus rather, wants to put some pressure on the front of Gemini's base, and with all these sentries here, it looks like he is going to be able to hold that off. And it looks like he is just going to try to kite some units here. The Zealot's getting a little bit out of position there. And yeah, there we go. There's the force field. I was wondering when that was going to come because the Zealots were getting really far down the ramp there. And a Cloaked Banshee in the base of Gemini, going to do a ton of damage, already has 8 kills, make it 9, and he is just going to continue to take stuff out while he tries to push up the front. And a few of the units getting behind that force field, but all of these Zealots just getting pounded by all the Marines behind that force field, almost using them as a protective barrier for his own units. And this Banshee, oh my goodness, is it going to reach 20 kills? Yeah, 20 kills. It's a commander. It earned that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Commander Banshee. But it looks like the income lead is going to swing vastly in the favor of our Terran player cheesus, as he has 28 harvesters to 12. So very, very nice Banshee play there, splitting the Protoss forces, forcing those Void Rays to be back defending the mineral line when they wanted to be helping the units out in the front. And no observers out for Gemini right now. These Banshees are going to be a huge pain to deal with because he just does not have anything to spot them right now. And of course, taking out the high gas units like the sentries and stalkers. And here's some Vikings out to take care of these, to help take care of these Void Rays. But there are a lot of Void Rays here. This may be a big problem for our Terran player here if he cannot get something out to deal with these. He's going to need a lot of Marines and possibly some Vikings to deal with this. They are coming in here, going to do a ton of damage. This is looking really, really bad for cheesus right now if he does not get a significant amount of anti-air out here very, very quickly. He is going to hide a command center here, it looks like, try to send it over into the top and possibly just take out this Protoss base before he can actually kill the rest of his building. So it looks like we are going to see a base race between these two players, immediately going for that mineral line, making sure that he can't hide buildings anywhere on the map, And of course, there is actually a Marauder in the front here as well. I'm not sure why he's not using that to do anything. Oh, but there is another Void Ray out from Gemini, so it looks like he is going to be able to deflect these Banshees at least for a bit. These Banshees have no energy, so they are not going to be able to cloak to hide from that. And it looks like these Void Rays just going to clean up the rest of this base from cheesus here. cheesus really needs to get some barracks up and running at this base in the top left here, and he does have a couple of Vikings, but Vikings are going to be tough to control against Void Rays, running the SCVs away immediately, and it looks like he's actually going to just go ahead and let his base die while he tries to save up enough energy to take out the Protoss base rather. But it looks like Gemini just going to commit to this as he does not have any more miners, and going to try to go ahead and just get enough Void Rays out, just cranking out his last Void Ray so that he can actually just win this game. This is going to be down to the wire. It's all going to depend on how long it takes for him to find that base in the top left, which is going to happen. It's an inevitability. But right now, the one thing that cheesus does not know is that there's no miners, and he can't buy any more miners. He is literally completely all in with what he has right now. If he could manage to throw up some barracks and get some units out on the map, he will be able to win this game, but he's going to have to use the money that he has. As you can see, he has 800 some minerals right now, but he has absolutely no units building, so he is going to need to get that up and running here very quickly, or these Void Rays are going to win this game handily. All the SCVs still hanging out over here next to the Xel'Naga Watchtower, and the Void Ray is going by that Xel'Naga Watchtower, and he is going to scout all of the bases here. It looks like he is going to find the base in the upper left here, so it's going to be a matter of whether or not these Void Rays can be taken down by this one lone Viking here. And the SCV still not being spotted. I'm not sure exactly why he's not doing anything with them, because he has the money to, but it looks like he's actually going to lose this game as he does not have any more buildings after the supply depot goes down, and cheesus loses the game to Gemini. Team Slaughterhouse is up 2-1 in the series now. We're going to move on to game number 4 here with the 2-1 lead for Slaughterhouse. So sit tight, grab another drink or whatever, and we'll get that game going here as quickly as we can.